Good afternoon.
All right, so this is the
1, 2, 3, 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience, for waiting. We are about to begin. Welcome to the People's Constitution Commission Education and Consultation Launch. My name is Renata Samuels, and I will be your mistress of ceremony for today. We'll give that warm welcome to certain distinguished guests as well. Of course, to the CEO of the Ministry of Education, CEO Diane Mejia, Mayor of Belize City, Bernard Wagner, distinguished invited guests, Professor Robert A. Destra, Professor of Law, Jason Gluck, UNDP Consultant Specialist, Eddie Peter Usher, Adjunct Lecturer of Public Law, esteemed members of the People's Constitution Commission, Head of Secretariat and officers of Secretariat, representatives of the diaspora, and members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. So at this time, I ask if you kindly rise as we begin to start the event with our national anthem. Please feel free to sing along. We would love to hear your beautiful voices. It's going to be played for us. That's why we sing along. Beautiful, beautiful. A lot of artists in this crowd. Please stay standing as we recite the national prayer.
Almighty and eternal God, who through Jesus Christ has revealed your glory to all nations, please protect and preserve Belize, our beloved country. God of might, wisdom, and justice, please assist our Belizean government and people with your Holy Spirit of counsel and fortitude. Let the light of your divine wisdom direct their plans and endeavors, so that with your help we may attain our just objectives. With your guidance, may all our endeavors tend to peace, social justice, liberty, national happiness, the increase of industry, sobriety, and useful knowledge. We pray, O God of mercy, for all of us, that we may be blessed in the knowledge and sanctified in the observance of your most holy law, that we may be preserved in union and in that peace which the world itself cannot give. And after enjoying the blessings of this life, please admit us, dear Lord, to that eternal reward that you have prepared for those who love you. Amen.
You may be seated. Again, I say welcome, but we have a specific person to give you that proper welcome. I call now on the stage Mayor Bernard Wagner to please welcome us for this event.
Thank you, Renata. It's indeed a pleasure with protocol having been established. Distinguished guests, esteemed members of the People's Constitution Commission, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and a warm welcome to each and every one of you to this historic event, the launch of the People's Constitution Commission's Public Education and Consultation Campaign. As the Mayor of Belize City, it is both an honor and a privilege for me to stand here before you today and address this gathering. First and foremost, I want to express my heartfelt appreciation to the government of Belize for recognizing the need for a comprehensive review of our Constitution and for taking the proactive step of establishing the People's Constitution Commission through the enactment of the People's Constitution Commission Act. This act signifies the government's commitment to ensuring that the voice of every Belizean is heard and that our Constitution truly reflects the needs, the preferences, and the aspirations of our beloved nation in the 21st century. Our Constitution has served as a cornerstone of our democracy for over 4 decades, and it is a living document that must adapt and must evolve with the times. It is a reflection of our collective identity and the principles upon which our nation was built. However, as society progresses and faces new challenges, it becomes imperative on us to assess whether our Constitution still resonates with the realities and the ambitions of today. The launch of this public education and consultation campaign marks a significant milestone in the journey towards constitutional reform. The People's Constitution Commission, comprising of 26 members representing 23 sectors of Belizean politics and society, is an unprecedented institution in our country's history. Really a beacon of inclusivity, a beacon of diversity, and a beacon of unity. This commission stands as a testament to our government's commitment to ensuring that the process of constitutional reform is thorough, that it is transparent, and that it is representative of the aspirations of all Belizeans. The principles that guide the People's Constitution Commission, those of inclusion, those of diversity, those of transparency, respect, honesty, and unity, really underpins the very fabric of our society. These principles are the bedrock upon which we have built our nation and how we have built our norms, our values that have allowed us to thrive as a resilient and really vibrant democracy. Over the course of the coming months, the People's Constitution Commission will embark on a journey that will shape the future of our nation. They will engage in extensive consultations with individuals, with communities across Belize, providing every citizen with the opportunity to contribute their thoughts, their opinions, and ideas for constitutional reform. This process will empower all Belizeans to actively participate in shaping the destiny of our nation, ensuring that our Constitution is a true reflection of our collective will. Ladies and gentlemen, let us embrace this historic moment with open hearts, right, and with open minds. Let us engage in constructive dialogue, respecting differences and celebrating shared values. The success of this public and consultation campaign depends on each and every one of us as citizens of Belize, coming together, united in our commitment to building a stronger, more inclusive, and more prosperous nation. I encourage all Belizeans to actively participate in the consultations organized by the PCC. You must attend the meetings. You must voice your opinions and contribute to the collective wisdom that will guide this process. Your voice matters, and your perspective is invaluable in shaping a Belize that we can be proud of. I want to thank you all. Have a great, great evening. Thanks again.
I loved when Mayor said we're shaping destiny. Can you think about that and imagine what this means for our country? Like, really think about that. Thank you so much, Mayor. And with that, we move on our agenda, and we call now on stage Mr. Cesar Ross, who's the head of the Secretariat, and he will be presenting the People's Constitution Commission's year-to-date report.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mistress of Ceremony. Protocol having been established, but I also want to welcome Ms. Dr. Marcelino for being here with us, and to Mr. Tate, representing the Statistical Institute of Belize, and Mr. Dion Elliott, who will represent the first press that will sign on to our public education consultation media relationship as such. No? The People's Constitution Commission was launched in November of 2022, 8 months ago, and the people of Belize have been asking, what have we been doing? Why is it that we're not hearing enough? Well, in the beauty of the commission that was established, the government chose to establish a sectoral commission. And the importance of that is that the sectoral commission represents most of the sectors of the country of Belize, attempts to represent all of the sectors of the country of Belize as such. And that is a wonderful advantage, but also a disadvantage. It's a wonderful advantage because, as opposed to what Jamaica or what Barbados or what even the Gambia did in creating a technical committee in which learned individuals rewrote the Constitution, and the results have been very iffy as far as the people of those countries are concerned. Our government decided, rather than a technical commission, to develop a sectoral commission, because that is supposed to reflect the sectors of Belize and bring into the discussion very, very palpably what the people of Belize want in their commission, in their constitution review as such. No? So as a result of that, it's a wonderful picture. And Caribbean leaders have been informing us and telling us that it's a wonderful picture, but it's a headache, right? Because it's not a commission that people from day one were prepared to launch a constitution review, because it's a commission of sectors that themselves need to be brought into an understanding of the constitution of Belize as such, no? And so there's the beauty, and then there's the sort of little difficulty, the little hiccup that has caused for us, that has resulted in us in the past 8 months been preparing, been onboarding, being training, being orienting, all of those terms that we as educators used in trying to get our students, but also our commissioners, up and ready, both to understand the Constitution that they are tasked with reviewing, but also to be able to consult with the public from a basis of understanding that Constitution, knowing how to speak with the sectors that they are going to be speaking, with the communities that they are going to be consulting as such. So it has taken us some time. During that period of time, after the launch, we have had inaugural meetings, we have had subsequent workshops, whether it's on the history and post-independence constitutional development, and in the pillars of the present Belize Constitution. We had discussions of strategic plans. We have held the formation of technical committees as such. The chairman, the vice chair, and myself has initiated a round of visiting the media, being on Open Your Eyes on January the 30th, on Wake Up Belize on February the 2nd, on Love FM Morning Show on February 6th, and we know we need to continue. And so there is schedule for more media visits. We have also partnered with the University of Belize in 2 public lectures on March 1st and on April 24th to orient again, to share with their sectors, the university students, but the public was also invited to, in introduction to the People's Constitution Commission and to the concept of constitution reform. We've also had manuscripts drafted of manuals that are going to be instrumental in helping us and in guiding our public education and consultation process. We have had presentation and collaboration with the Association of Tertiary Level Institutions of Belize. All of them excited about participating and being part of this process as such. For the National Agriculture and Trade Show, the Secretariat, with the assistance of the People's Constitution Commission, provided an informative booth for those 2 days that saw Belizeans from different areas of Belize walking by, asking questions, and winning prizes, whether it was a tote bag, whether it was a t-shirt, merchandise that has been developed for the People's Constitution Commission as such. Okay? So we are at the point now that we have established the framework for technical thematic committees on the rule of law, governance, the legislature, accountability, and the public sector, finance, and local government thematic committees. So 5 thematic committees charged with looking at different aspects of the Constitution. We have also seen invitation to our chairman and vice chair, who were invited to a constitutional conference in Barbados, in which they got ideas, advice, and hopefully enlightenment into some of the tasks ahead. Okay? They have also met with certain members of the diaspora in Miami on their way back from Barbados. So they've been trying to make sure that on any one trip that they can do more than one thing as such. No? So we have several texts, from a brief summary of the Belize Constitution to a Belize Constitution simplified. We have also, and we're hoping that we will be ready to share with you all a launch song that the PCC and the Secretariat have worked on for the past month with musicians from Belize. And so I will not say anything more about that. I will leave it to the music to speak for itself. We have met with the Minister and the CEO of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Science and Technology, because we know, we have recognized that any public education process to reach this country, the education centers, the education institutions, the schools from primary, tertiary, secondary, all of them will partner with us because we have a time frame and we need to get out to all of these, the public of Belize as such. We have also had a meeting with the Director General from the Statistical Institute of Belize, who has graciously committed to working with us at making sure that we do a good job of acquiring the data that will feed into the development of the recommendations, the reports on the Belize Constitution, but also the analysis of all that data, the management of all that data, and the safeguarding of the integrity of all of that data as such. So all of these things here have been processes, have been details, but I think it brings us to where we are today, where we are ready to launch, we're ready to go to the public, and we have all our I's dotted, or T's crossed, and so we should be at a point where now the actual public outreach starts as such in a very aggressive and very powerful way as such, no? So that is where we are. That is what the People's Constitution Commission and its Secretariat has been at and has been working with to bring us to this day as such, no? Thank you very much.
I feel like we need to give a bigger round of applause for all the work that's been happening throughout the months. There's a lot of meetings, and I'm sure many of you know how it's like to meet with people, to get people into a room to meet. It's not easy, so they definitely deserve some applause for that. So we're moving right along, and at this time, I'm going to call on the chairman, Mr. Anthony Chanona, to come and talk to us about the education and consultation program. Round of applause, please. Keep the momentum going, guys. Keep the excitement going. We're shaping destiny, remember?
Good afternoon. Protocol having been established still will not negate me from recognizing our distinguished Mayor of Belize City, Professor Destro, from the Columbia Law University in DC, as two very special invited guests into our midst. I wanted to first begin by pulling a little snippet at our Mistress of Ceremonies. You will note that she has Miss Renata Samuels. But as of July 22nd, which happens to be our 46th wedding anniversary, Renata will be known as Mrs. Renata Codd Samuels. So let's give the couple, her fiancé is right here. If you just look behind in that blue shirt, Mr. Codd. He's not here? Oh my God. The jury will scratch that from their memory. Okay, how could I be wishing you this and then, anyway. So, the part of having been shared with that lighter side of errors, I would like to say that I would begin by first of all sharing that today we meet to launch our public education outreach strategy. It is a good strategy. It's not a perfect one. And good need not be the enemy of perfect. Why is it a good strategy? Simply because it targets 3 areas of public education outreach. 98% of Belizeans have not read nor have any knowledge of the Constitution of Belize, which is that yellow book, May 2021 edition, 98%. It targets 2% of the population that has knowledge of the Constitution of Belize. And just as importantly, it targets Belizeans who love Belize just as much as any one of us living abroad. And they are present here with us. It's really great to have had the opportunity to lead this process to where it is today at this important junction. But I owe a debt of gratitude to the commissioners, all 25 of them, and their alternates, for having allowed me to manage their time, and at times I have not done so well with time management, to manage all that is at play with 23 organizations of such diverse, beautiful Belizean energy. But here we are, after 7 months at this launch. But besides saying that I owe a debt of gratitude, Belize owes a debt of gratitude, if I might say so. These commissioners travel from great distances, all the way from Corozal and all the way from Punta Gorda. They close their businesses, some of them, their bread and butter issues, and reassign their busy commitments to attend meetings faithfully at no cost to the Belizean taxpayer. I would like to do something about that, but that is the truth. They volunteer their time, their talent, and their resource, because vehicles not yet run on water. I want to ask you and those in the listening audience, wherever you are, streaming or on video, please help me in recognizing the members of the People's Constitution Commission. I ask you to please stand and to be recognized. Commissioners. Thank you so very much. I would also want to recognize that we didn't get here by ourselves either. There's been a core group, small but efficient and dedicated young Belizeans. We'll remove Mr. Ross from out of that category, who have helped me as chair and the commission with work and work overload and time overload unselfishly all into weekends to get the job done. I would like to ask members of the Secretariat to please stand and to be recognized. You could stand too, Mr. Ross. That young lady is Miss Clara Chi. He's our legal research assistant. Our good governance officer is Mr. Leon Dawson. She did all this. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me a little bit more of your time to share with you what we have planned. There is no template in this daunting task of reviewing a document, as I shared earlier, that 98% of Belizeans have not read. It's not short of any less a daunting task and a challenge to begin to engage that area of breaching, that area of a stone wall between knowledge and power, which is the Constitution. So, we couldn't look at the ICJ model that had a complete ministry with ambassadors and the full complement of a government plus $15 million to get a yes vote. We couldn't look at Dr. Vernon's 1999-2000 exercise that accomplished a lot but had a completely different scope. And therefore, we looked outside into the Caribbean and other jurisdictions. And as Cesar Ross, head of Secretariat, shared, all their models are different from Belize. But then, this is Belize. We always do things different. And that's what makes us different. You believe that? I believe it. So we couldn't look at these other jurisdictions, as was shared, Jamaica, Barbados, and some of the other jurisdictions that failed in these exercises all had prima donna certified creme de la creme constitutional experts doing this review. I have the pleasure of chairing a robust diversity of Belizeans, young and not so young, that have brought their talent, time, and resources. So we couldn't find a template anywhere else, so we had to develop one of our own. A little bit, a page out of Mayor Wagner's book, who develops things that was not ever tried before, even in COVID years. The template we developed was, we don't have the benefit of time, no resources, while we need human resources. We developed a template of splitting the country and in execution of our statute mandate under the Act into 5 zones. The North, Belize City, the West, and the South. 4 zones. The 5th zone is the diaspora, present here today. We have designed project, we call them zone leaders, deputy zone leaders, and station managers, because unlike the ICJ that had a caravan of activities going into a village or into a town, public lectures, town hall meetings, and then packed up and moved into another town, our model is templated from a physical presence in the district throughout the duration of this exercise. Once we set up that structure, it remains, because at the end of the day, the people's voice must be represented in that final report. Later today, we're going to sign some memorandum of understanding with the partners, very strategic partners, who will help us. And none other more strategic than the Ministry of Education, who would have been present minister himself, but unable to do so for medical reasons, but present and significantly present in the form of the CEO, Ms. Diane Mahia. So, this structure is what we roll out beginning July, the structure. I would like to, can I just see your program? I would like to show you the faces of these zones. The persons who have elected and volunteered to man these zones. It is the role of the Secretariat to supply all the necessary resources to allow them to do their job. So I will begin with the North and call upon Commissioner Ruth Schuman and Dr. Perlita Aldana to kindly come to the front. Let the nation of Belize and the country of Belize see you both. Ruth, Commissioner Schuman is the zone leader, and Dr. Perlita Aldana is the deputy zone leader, Orange Walk, and Ruth is Corozal overall. And they will have a zone manager in the middle, Mr. Hugo Vasquez. Kindly remain standing. The zone leaders for Belize City and the Keys. Yeah. Zone leaders, Belize City and the Keys. Commissioner Maria Zabane has accepted. Commissioners for the West, Belmopan and outlying areas in the west of Belmopan. These constituencies are large, although we're not using electoral statistics. Commissioner Louis Wade and Commissioner Nancy Marin. Commissioners for the South, could you kindly stand and be recognized? Commissioner Christina Koch and Commissioner Conrad Lewis. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the persons who have elected to serve our country and to execute our mandate. Please pray for them and support them, participate, and write your future. Kindly be seated. I need to speak a little faster and move a little quicker into this. We have, can I just get that document, please? The Belize Constitution. This document is 163 pages long. This is where we begin. We had the assistance of Professor Robert Destro, who assisted us with the collaboration of the Secretariat and Belizean scholars, Mr. Peter Ed Usher, Vice Chair, and other persons within the legal profession. This document was broken down into 50 pages. Education campaign begins with knowing what you have. Knowing what you have. We have another document that we're launching, written by Richard Dickey Bradley, who took 50 pages and broke it down into 20, volume 1. Professor Destro also contributed with the Fundamental Bill of Rights. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where your Constitution begins. Your preamble, the bedrock and foundation of our nation and our identity, and your fundamental rights that should only be added to and not taken from. So that's why this is a standalone, and this is where we begin. Educating on what is in here, but in a more simplified version. These are the tools that the zone leaders take into their communities and in their own creativity develop strategies of public education. I will close on that note only to ask that we go into the strategic partnership of engaging the Ministry of Education, the Statistical Institute of Belize, the Reporter Press as part of the media strategy, and the diaspora. We have entered into negotiations, and what we will witness now is a cementing of the ideals to pursue this networking with these strategic partners. So we will begin by asking CEO Diane Mahia, do we have the copies of the Memorandum of Understanding? And while we're getting that, what the Minister and the Ministry has pledged, and time will not allow me to run into the full details, what it has pledged is all the resources of the Ministry of Education, all their database and all their platforms will be made available to the PCC through its secretariat to be able to feed into the school system these documents. The Minister has gone beyond and has declared and will declare September Constitution Month. The zones are going to develop essays, debates, and all poetry and all other facets of education leading up to a national debate to be held at the Civic Center, where we can hopefully fit 3,000, Renata? 5,000. We hope to fill that, to declare the national champions of debate. The topic to be decided by a technical education committee that is headed by Dr. Christopher DeShiel. Would you want to stand? Another important part of this strategy is data analysis. I don't know if Dr. Philip Castillo is here. Dr. Philip Castillo is going to be heading up the data analysis technical committee to be assisted by all the resources of the commission, of the secretariat. So, are we ready to sign? It's already signed. Mr. Philip Tate is the chairman of the, come over, the media is asking for you to come over that we can see in the middle. Mr. Philip Tate is the chairman of the Statistical Institute of Belize. We are going to enter into this collaborative agreement to be able to have the Statistical Institute of Belize help us with the templates of citizen survey forms to be able to help us to capture, analyze data, but more importantly, to be able to help us to validate the authenticity, transparency of the data. The data must reflect the voices of the people. We also very fortunate, I will call up the diaspora. We will be Mr. Ray Gongara and Dr. Caroline Genitre. Who is absent today is Verlene Pitts. She was unable to attend. We are going to enter into this memorandum of understanding as a building block into tapping into their database of over 25,000 Belizeans living abroad. There's a whole network behind these signatories that is going to help us to collaborate. And Dr. Genitre's specialty as a professor at the Nebraska State University, got that right? Indiana University, is data collection and data management. She has tremendous experience, and I can just imagine the work we'll get from interfacing with this database and along with the Statistical Institute of Belize. Very, very happy that we have been able to get these three persons, three organizations, to on board with us today. Last but not least, I would like to call up the editor of the Reporter Press. The media is so important to the work, and Deon Elliott was a former commissioner, but got assigned from under the Chamber of Commerce. He's now at the National Bank of Belize. But what the Reporter is offering the PCC, and that we gladly signed on to, is a page on the Reporter where we can place any content free. In return, we begin this relationship, and we invite all other media houses. I know when I say free, the media cringes. But I would like to recognize the staff, management, and your enterprise, Deon, for allowing us to tap into this. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now move into the launching of these booklets, and I will ask for Professor Destro to stand. I will ask Peter Ed Usher to stand, and I would like to ask for symbolic presentation. Could you kindly stand in the front? These are the tools that is going to tear down the walls of 98% of Belizeans. And the first measure of that success will be in October when we release our first interim report. If we are able to get 98 to 50%, the Commission would have scored its first success. Education is power. No longer are we going to hear that 98% of Belizeans don't understand it. We have set a target date for October to tear down that barrier. The final report will be icing on the cake. Let me close by saying thank you so very much for attending. Those of you who are live streamed and on video, I can only ask you, this is a very momentous time, as the mayor has said in his address. Please participate. Help us to WRITE, that your constitution, your reviews, that we may RIGHT your future. Thank you very much.
Can we get another round of applause? There was a lot of things that took place, so we have to make up for every single signing, every single person standing up. Keep the momentum going and alive, guys. We're moving now closer to the ending of our event. It goes so fast, good things, you know. That's why we have to make sure we cherish the moments. At this time, I now call on the head of the Secretariat, Mr. Cesar Ross, to give us the vote of thanks. Oh, you know what? We want to hear the song first because we've been talking about this song. We've been dreaming about this song. Let's hear the song. So let's launch the song. This is the theme song.
Just on a point of order. Carla, would you kindly introduce the mechanic, how we arrived at this song?
Good evening, everybody. So I was tasked to come up with an idea for a song that speaks Belize. I thought about people of Punta, we love Calypso, we love Soca, we love Brokdong music. So how can I get all of this into one song? I reached out to Belizean artists. In this song, we have the General, Supa G, who brought in a little bit of Creole, a little bit of Garifuna, and a little bit of Spanish. We have Miss Ernestine Carballo. She is known as the soca queen of Belize, but now she's tapping into Brokdong music to keep Lila Vernon alive. Then we have the Calypso. We have Mr. Alexander Evans. He's a one-man band, but he's an amazing artist. This is just one version of the song. My second version of the song, I will tap into my Amparanderos, my kids, and I will try to bring another creation of the song. But for this launch, I have this song. The song is called Belizeanize It. And I hope you all can feel what I felt when I sat down with these artists and we came up with this song. But I want you all to give a round of applause to these artists that came together and created this Belizean song. So please.
Let's participate and write our future.
The Fui Constitution. You speak, we listen.
All proud Belizean.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's take a stand and Belizeanize our constitution.
Belizeanize it. Let's Belizeanize it. Belizeanize it. Yeah.
It's time for you, me, and all our we to live the best life in our country.
It's time for you, me, and we pick me to achieve the best life in our country.
The people want a better belief, more trusting and loving beliefs. Freedom, Alana the free, with a system where they to we. Justice for everybody, we'll lose them life over tragedies. A government working for us, let's unite and celebrate belief.
Me and all we believe we best life in our country.
It's time for you, me, and all our we to live the best life in our country.
No matter where you come from, village or a town, where you grown, reach out, let's start, let's learn, let's try to live better, my Belizean people.
It's time for you, me, and all our we
I was really waiting for somebody to come out of their seat and start dancing. I was like, please contain yourself, but you really did. But this is my favorite row right here because I saw them vibing to it. They were feeling the energy. Unfortunately, it's not available on Spotify and iTunes and so forth as yet, but Ms. Carla has mentioned that she's going to be sending this song out, and when she sends it out, I'm hoping you send it out and that everybody echo this song. This is just the first version. Imagine the second. Was it not an amazing song? Clap, man, or say yes. That was a good song, and you guys sat in your seats. Shame, shame, shame. But we are coming to the ending of our amazing launch at this time now. I repeat again, we call on Mr. Cesar Ross to come in and give us our vote of thanks. One more round of applause, guys. Keeping it up. We have a little bit more juices I'm going to squeeze out of you.
I was also looking at that first row, and they're getting into it as such. And I made eye contact because the first verse says, no matter which village or district or town. The second verse said, no matter where in the world you're there, you're the still Belizean as such. So we were making sure in those words that we're reaching out and making the diaspora. Okay. Vote of thanks. It's always the most difficult part because it's the part where you have to try to remember who all contributed to this. And so we want to first, of course, like the chairman has said, thank the commissioners. Thank the People's Constitution Commission commissioners who have spent the past 8 months following and bearing all the type of work, all the type of lectures, all the type of meetings we have been putting them through as such, you know. Thank you all for that. Thanks, of course, to the chairman himself who has been committed to this process, and the vice chair, very important person in this process here. The vice chair has been keeping us grounded as such. Thanks to Mayor Wagner for welcoming us here. Thanks, CEO. Thanks for coming. Mr. Tate, thank you for representing. Mr. Dion, thank you, and I should say welcome back as such, you know. As the chairman had said, Mr. Dion was one of our first commissioners. It's kind of unfortunate that job took him elsewhere, and so he stepped out of the commission as such. But he's just out-ish because he still has one foot in the commission as one of our advisors as such. Professor Destro, Dr. Marcelino, my diaspora friends, my new diaspora friends. Yes, Mr. Ed Usher, all the emails, all you kept with us, thank you very much for your commitment to all this. Thanks, Mistress of Ceremony. Thank you for keeping this a dynamic process as such. Right. And we have to thank Jason for being here and helping us through all this process as such. And, of course, all those who have helped, whether from the ministries, on the Ministry of Public Service, constitutional, political reform that has kept us and kept assisting us as we went along, the Ministry of Education and the Minister, thank you very much. Even Biltmore has treated us well in our times here as such, and everybody else. The technical team that has also made sure that our recordings of all our meetings, of all our events, and our secretaries, our recording secretaries, Ms. Carolyn and Ms. Carol, thank you very much for your hard work as such. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here.
A lot of thanks and a lot of happiness.
Big mistake on my part again, my secretariat, the secretariat of the People's Constitution Commission. Thank you guys for all the extra work, all the overwork.
You have to make sure getting the tongues or egg will end up in your car when you know what happened, right? But definitely it is a great event. There's so much thanks, and of course for every single person to take time to come out here. That says a lot. That says the importance that you put on this constitution and this reform and us really reshaping our destinies. And I'm going to take that with me, Mayor, because I'm really thinking about what we're doing here. And it's important that we have that participation, that integrity, that respect, and so much more principles that the Constitution is pushing for. This is for everybody. And even though 98% of people have not read it, it's our job now to make sure people know about it. So you go from here, and we really start this public education campaign. So with that, guys, we have ended our event. Thank you again for coming out, and we pray you go out and Belizeanize it, listen it on the radio, make sure your neighbor hear it, everybody, your dog, they dance to it, every single thing. Please, please. And of course, make sure you get your copies and send it out and let everybody know. There's a lot of work happening, but you know, it takes all of us to make sure that work flows properly. So thank you so much.